against enslavement. What I am saying that you're talking about a system of enslavement. There were many things that people did in order to get an easier break, just a little bit of respite from the brutality and violence. I'm saying it's very disingenuous.
This is my
and very
right
dangerous,
here,
in my humble opinion, to bring that as an example of black women.
If you ever want to know who's funding Titans,
black men, get me? It's very dangerous because in the same system there are many things that black men and
know what
women
you're
do.
to. Yeah,
Of course, you get a little bit of respite. So this is not an example. You can't compare this one.
Something like on this one.
I don't even know if I want to distract from.
Okay. Easy.
We might have to come back to this. Yeah, let's. Cause this might be.
Content over everything.
Yeah, we'll have to come back to this.
Okay, let's go. We're rolling, baby. Oh man. Shaka, Kalam L, Linker, Titans TV,
Nah.
COE,
Ready?
Akebulan. Oh man.
Right, they would say 10 don't worry.
Jeez.
Listen, no, so this is the thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, I saw a piece of your live. I didn't see the whole thing.
Yeah.
I saw about 15 minutes of it, 10,
Yeah.
15 minutes of it. And obviously, I asked a couple questions on this thing here. Now, since I come around there, a lot of politics and them kind of things there, I've stayed out most of the politics.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see and form my own opinions on certain things. I don't even know really what's going on for the Tommy Robinson case.
Yeah.
But this is not a guy, that I don't think I would ever find myself, kind of advocating on behalf in any way, shape or form. And from the video that I watched, that's the impression that I got.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't watch the whole video, so I could be slightly misinformed in it. But it concerned me away because I'm thinking, this is the brother that I respect in it. And I'm wondering, why is it even in question whether the Tommy Robinson, who's the founder of the EDO, is racist or not? And why is it we're trying to impress upon, because the title of the video is, why are you triggered by Tommy Robinson? Because man, them are calling him racist. And I'm saying, so why is the challenge for us to not see this guy as racist coming from Kalam of Titans TV? You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah. So why is Tommy Robinson? Okay, let me try to jump into that because you mentioned a whole heap of stuff, right? And first of all, I always say I don't advocate, I don't support any person, any human being.
Yes.
And do you know the reason why I say that?
Why?
I say that human beings are fallible.
Yes.
Human beings make mistakes.
Yes.
Human beings will always let you down.
Yes.
But you know what won't let you down? Your principles.
Yes.
If you stand on solid foundations, that can never let you down. So me personally, I stand upon, as you know, man.
Yes.
But just to break that bit down a bit more, I stand upon truth, justice, righteousness, balance, order, reciprocity,
Yes.
right? Life. These are my principles that I stand upon.
Yes.
And if somebody else, regardless of skin color, ideology or religion, aligns with my principles,
Yes.
right? We're fighting the same fight together.
Okay.
Right? So I'm going to advocate for you in that respect,
Okay.
as long as you're walking on the same path as myself.
Okay.
Right? So Tommy Robinson, when he first came down to Speaker's Corner, he came down on the banner of freedom of speech.
Yes.
Titans TV is about freedom of speech.
Yes.
Speaker's Corner is about freedom of speech.
Yes.
So therefore, I'm going to align with you on that respect.
Okay.
Anything else that you're doing,
Okay.
I couldn't care less. That just now becomes a fallacy of irrelevancy.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Second time where I've actually filmed Tommy Robinson is to do with the Old Bailey, the trial, the case, right?
Yeah.
So he was falsely imprisoned, right? I labeled him a political prisoner because the reason why he was actually in prison was based upon politics. You dig what I'm saying? The Lord Chief Justice came out and said that this trial was unlawful. It was unlawful,
Yeah.
or it wasn't a fit trial. Basically, it was too rushed. He said all these things here. That's why Tommy Robinson was released from prison. That's why he's now being retrialed because he was falsely imprisoned. So I'm fighting under the banner of justice. There was an injustice that took place that day,
Yeah.
right? And I always say this, right? There's the famous line, right? An injustice anywhere
Yeah.
is an injustice everywhere.
Okay.
You think what I'm saying? So I felt that injustice for Tommy Robinson. Everybody else said, come down and actually film Tommy Robinson. I didn't have no idea the following evening about coming down to film Tommy Robinson.
Yeah.
Everybody else may have had the idea. I didn't personally have the idea, right? People said, come down and we're going to support you. We're going to pay for you to go down there and see Tommy Robinson and video it. I did exactly what the community wanted, right? You also made a mention about Tommy Robinson and racism and so forth, right?
Yeah.
Everybody is, you know, not everybody, a lot of people from the Muslim community, and which has infected the black community, say that Tommy Robinson is racist, right? I'm a person that judge a man based upon his character, based upon his conduct, based upon who he is, right? As I see him face value. And me personally, I've never seen anything to say that this person is a racist. I personally have been, how can I put it, a victim of other people calling me a black supremacist, other people calling me a racist here at Speaker's Corner. So I feel that, how can I put it? I feel that connection with a person like Tommy Robinson who is being slandered. You dig what I'm saying? If you cannot provide the evidence that I'm racist or I'm a black supremacist, and you can't produce the evidence that Tommy Robinson is a racist, right? I'm going to have to stand up for the fact that there is an injustice taking place and say, as far as I know, I can't label this man a racist. Unless you can provide me some evidence, I'm a fair person. I will actually, you know, observe the evidence and weigh it up and investigate it. But so far, nobody has came with any proof to say this person is a racist. Therefore, what I'm seeing is the communities that are calling in these names are basically slandering. And I don't stand with slanderers.
All right, appreciate it. On the issue of the court case, like I said, I didn't know a whole heap about it. Somebody, another brother, told me about exactly what it was about recently. Now, my perspective on that is, even if I think he's innocent of the crime that he's accused of, and and if I thought a guy was innocent, I might be able to say that. That's different. That's a separate issue, one than the freedom of speech issue, because freedom of speech applies to racists as well, right? And it's different to whether this particular individual and the organizations he has established is racist or not. Now, I was on your channel the other day, and Captain Scarlett asked me a question about Tommy Robinson, and my response basically was, look, this guy's a minor league king, and oftentimes black people, we get caught up on the minor racism and not the bigger macro systemic institutional thing, so I have no problem with the extent to which we should not allow ourselves to be distracted by this guy and whatever he's doing. Where I have a concern is when people in our... Because the first time I heard Tommy Robinson was a racist was not from the Muslims. It was from black people and about the EDO. And certain... What? Yes, we are the Rasta. Long time. Yes, you know? What's it? When it was from black people. So the concern that I had was the idea that black people who call this guy a racist are somehow triggered, and if we don't recognize the good in him, because you said he came out the court and shook everybody's hand, and if man don't recognize that, then you got no love in your heart and them kind of things there. And I'm saying that the level of challenge that black people seem to be getting, in the video that I watched, to see the good in this man concerned me, because I don't know why it's in question that the EDL, the English Defence League, is a racist organisation, and the person that started that organisation supports and reinforces ideas of white supremacy and racism. I don't know why that's in question.
Okay, so I don't know about EDL being a racist organisation. I've listened to Tommy Robinson speak. I've read up articles about the founding of EDL, and EDL was founded with black members. Being quite instrumental in the whole movement of EDL itself. Now, I've kind of excused Tommy Robinson from EDL itself, because Tommy Robinson is no longer a member of EDL. He founded it, and of course, for at least 5 years now, he has not been a member of EDL. So I don't even want to speak about the EDL, because that's something completely separate from Tommy Robinson.
It can't be completely separate, with all due respect.
So help me to understand why we're bringing EDL into the equation when we're speaking about Tommy Robinson, whether he is racist himself.
Cool.
Or whether, why are we triggered with Tommy Robinson?
Cool. Okay, was the EDL represented at the court the other day?
Was it represented?
Yeah, so were they there? Were members of the EDL there in support of Tommy Robinson?
Okay, so I would say I don't know if EDL was there at Tommy Robinson's court case. Right. I would say that the supporters of Tommy Robinson were there. I can tell you that there was UKIP flags flying around.
Right, so UKIP support Tommy Robinson.
Yeah, there was UKIP.
Is UKIP a racist organisation?
I don't know. I don't know if UKIP is. Britain First, there was other organisations.
Is Britain First a racist organisation?
I don't know. I personally haven't studied these organisations. You can most already tell me.
What about the BNP?
I don't know. I can tell you from when we was younger, there's always been this negative stereotype of the BNP and the National Front. As growing up, we always used to be the ones, as bad as it is, to be throwing stones at these buildings or, these group of people.
Yes.
But I personally don't know about these organizations. I was
Okay.
only, as a youth, I was moving off ignorance because I didn't know about it.
Right.
I was, taught that these people were racist,
Right.
therefore be against these people.
Right.
Now, as I'm older, I'm a person that utilizes critical thinking.
Yes.
So I want to know, okay, what about these organizations make them racist? Is it their policies?
Right.
Is it the things that they're saying? What is it that makes them racist? So I can't
Right.
call them racist because I don't personally know.
I can speak to that to some degree.
Yeah.
So as far as I am aware, first of all, Robinson, before founding the EDR, was a member of the British National Party, the BNP.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, my understanding of the history of the BNP, in terms, was that partly one of the major issues, that it was challenging when it was established itself. Always, to be honest with you, is the immigration thing, right? And so from history until now, so they even had a seat. I think it was in Barking a few years ago, and that's what they were challenging there. Yeah.
Okay.
The immigration thing, first and foremost, was an attack against our parents and grandparents, who came after the so-called Windrush people then. Okay. And so the NF being now like the more like gang element, of the same right-wing politics, was the people that were aggressing our grandparents and parents and the kind of thing they're on road.
Okay.
The BNP and them people there, were the ones who were trying to institute what they were doing on the roads in the parliament as a political party.
Yep.
Over time, the right wing in this country have always kind of reshaped, reformed themselves, put on a different name, a different veil, and repackaged themselves and presented themselves to the British people. So when I see an organization set up in the same vein as the right-wing organization that we've seen in the past, I don't ask myself whether they're racist or not. I just know that they are, because they come in the same vein. The history that created them hasn't changed, and they have built and developed on that history.
So would you say that's like highly ignorant of you then?
No.
Because if you haven't actually analyzed it, investigated, but you just label it because you believe them to be racist, that's quite an ignorant statement.
But that isn't what I said. What I said was, when I see an organization develop in the same vein, so it's far right-wing ideology that governs, these parties, these different institutions and organizations. So they give themselves different names. When it comes to UKIP, so I'm not like, I'm not. So and this is coming from a guy who said, you know what? Because there was a time when BNP said that if they got in power, they would give money for Africans who wanted to return to wherever. And I said, you know what? Before I vote for Labour and Conservative, if that policy was real, I'd vote for BNP. That doesn't make them any less racist, or an institution that is any less working towards my detriment. It's just a political thing. It means there's a benefit I get out of it at the moment. What I'm not going to do is go among my people and say, you know what, because of that, the BNP is not racist, and if you call them racist, then you're just being emotional and you're being triggered. And you know what I'm saying?
Perfect. So let's say, for example, you actually voted for BNP. You was a member of BNP because you wanted that particular benefit. Does that mean that you are immediately racist because you aligned with an organization that had your best interest, or you perceived that your interest was being satisfied?
I would not be a member of the BNP.
But you would have voted for the BNP.
No. If I had an organization,
yes,
because I don't believe in voting as an individual.
Okay.
And we decided that we were going to galvanize our community around this particular agenda, and we thought that there was going to be a benefit in that by voting for the BNP or any of these political parties. Man will vote for them for that strategic purpose. This is not an allegiance to a political party.
Obviously.
It's an allegiance to our agenda.
So that doesn't mean, because you're saying because Tommy Robinson was a member of BNP, that immediately means that he's racist.
No, I'm saying that.
But you're also saying, because BNP, if you had an organization as well, and BNP, obviously was, fitting or satisfying your own needs, you would have voted for them. But then I could turn around to you and say, okay, if Tommy Robinson is a racist for being a member or voting for BNP, then so can't I say that you are racist now for
No.
being a member or voting for PNP.
It wouldn't make sense to say that
Of course it doesn't make sense. Of course, that's the whole point. It doesn't make sense.
But I'm not sure. I'm not sure
usually-
the equivocation that you're making.
I'm just simply saying that most of us who are intelligent enough, we align ourselves or vote for certain parties because they're satisfying our needs, or
A
they may
particular-
have
a
the
particular
best
whatever, yeah.
interest, for us
Yeah.
that we're seeing.
But I'm
So
not saying that you are racist because you went down to the court.
No,
and-
I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm trying to understand why do you come up with a conclusion that Tommy Robinson is racist?
What I am saying is,
Yeah.
him and the organisations that he has been a member of
Yeah.
and founded
Yeah.
come from a particular ideology.
Okay.
Yes, that is one that is not promoting the best interest of black people, of African people.
Okay, so you
and
do-
often
Yeah.
seeking to infringe upon,
Yeah.
yes, the rights of African people.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's your claim. Go ahead.
So I'm saying that when I see an organisation develop based upon these ideologies, however they repackage themselves,
Yep.
it's not I don't have to ask myself whether or not, yeah, because these people are not fighting for me. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They're not set up on in my benefit, and historically, this ideology has related to my community in a certain way.
Okay.
So if I see an organisation develop based upon that ideology,
Yeah.
it's not a question to me. I know who they are, and I leave them to their thing.
Okay.
And I certainly don't go into debate with my brothers and sisters to recognise them as not being a representation
Yeah.
of the history that brought them into existence.
Okay. So do you know what EDL was actually founded upon?
As far as I'm aware, their major platform when they were founded was against Islamism, or what they call Islamic radicalism, terrorism, and them kind of things.
Okay, so it's against Islamic extremism, against radicalization, against the Islamization of the UK.
Yeah.
It's against terrorism and so forth, right?
Yes, yes.
So that being their whole banner, that's what they're fighting for.
Yes.
How does that negatively impact on you? For me, it positively impacts upon you. If they're fighting terrorism, we had, a lot of us have been affected by terrorism over here in the UK.
Yeah.
We had, what happened over in London Bridge, right? I
Yeah.
met certain individuals that their work colleagues or their family members were the ones who were killed.
I know a brother
on
that was that passed away in
Right?
the 7/7 bombing.
So
Yeah.
it seems as though that people who are fighting against these people
Yeah.
are working for our benefit, right?
No,
Okay.
not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily. Alright. Is it?
But are they working for our detriment by doing that?
No. On that particular issue.
Yeah.
Depending on who the organisation is,
Yeah.
you might say they're not working to our detriment on that particular issue.
Yeah.
But I don't automatically think that because somebody is against Islamic radicalism, that they're for black people. I think that would be a leap of logic.
Definitely be a leap of
right.
logic.
So is there one narrative on Islamic radicalism or terrorism?
What do you mean?
Is there a single narrative? So the point is that to validate what you're saying, the narrative that is pushed by organisations like the EDL, organisations like UKIP, Britain First, would have to be one that all of us could see and look at as true, yes, and infallible to a certain degree,
Yeah.
for your argument to hold weight. I am saying that it's possible for me to disagree with these people, on their particular narrative on the issue of Islamic radicalism,
Yeah.
and for African people to have our own perspective on the issue.
No problem. That's
Right,
cool. Yeah.
right. So I'm saying that most of the time when these organisations come up with this talk, they're totally. It's a political play,
Yeah.
and they're totally either ignorant or in denial deliberately
Yeah.
the role that this country plays in the world,
Yeah.
in terms of destabilizing economies, nations, and so on and so forth. Okay, and they're defending Britain's right, to be. These are people that hark back to the British Empire,
Okay.
right? Oftentimes, these people are empire people. Oftentimes, and Britain's right to be masters of the universe, so to speak, and British culture to be the dominant culture on the planet and them kind of things. So they're not campaigning against what Britain is doing when they bomb a nation or destabilize the economy of a nation. They're not doing that.
Yeah, because that's
Right.
not what they're founded for. So the whole purpose is against Islamic extremism, against terrorism. For me, it doesn't seem as though that their agenda is against black people, African people, people of color, whatever the case is. That's not their purpose. Their purpose is not based upon racial identity. It's nothing like that. is simply against there is a problem in this country. We can all recognize it. Any of us who's been in Speaker's Corner, has recognized there is a problem, and the problem is stemming from not all of Islam. Personally, I say this, I get a lot of flack for saying the problem is not all of Islam.
Yeah.
It's against radical or extremist Muslims or Islam. That version of Islam is a problem. That version of Islam is actually infecting or injecting a poison into the rest of the Islamic community. And the rest of the Islamic community are too, let's say, and be polite, too shook to actually speak up against them. And then they actually become part of the problem because they remain in silence.
Okay.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I don't see Tommy Robinson as being somebody who's racist. I don't see the EDL movement, when it was founded, as being racist. Are there racist people inside of the EDL? Yes, there is.
But the EDL is not racist.
No, because there could be, for example, are there racist people inside of your family? Most probably there is. Doesn't mean that your whole family is racist.
No.
Is there racist people inside of, let's say, for example, Top Man, that work for Top Man? Yes. Does it mean that Top Man is racist? No. You dig what I'm saying?
No, well, I would disagree. I think that we live in a society that is systemically and institutionally racist. Yeah. So I think all the institutions of the society institute racism in some way, shape, or form. Okay, and by that I just mean in terms of the white people and their culture being superior to African people and our culture in every area of human activity.
I don't believe that. I think you're right. There was a system of white supremacy that was in operation. Personally,
so when did
I don't think that system is as prevalent or as strong or as dominant as it used to be
in this country.
What it is, is with white supremacy or with any form of supremacy, there is something that is created, which is the inferiority complex.
Yes.
And I think most of us, black, brown people of minority, are suffering from an inferiority complex. And it's not exactly the white supremacy that's in operation right now. It's our own inferiority.
So you're saying to me that this society is not systemically and institutionally set up in a way that disenfranchises our people, not just in this country,
No, I'm only talking about this country. Because
okay, fine. Well, let's leave it. Which I'm not sure you can really do in reality. But for the sake of argument, let's do that. Just in this country alone. So you're saying that the system of this society is not set up in a way, that detrimentally impacts people of African descent.
Okay, so let me give you, like, for me, my own personal experience, right?
Yeah.
So in going to university, right, I got a lot of help from my teachers. A lot of help. I got a lot of leeway that most people never got, right? I really milked the system, hard body.
Yeah.
I will claim for disability allowance, like dyslexia. Click, I got that. Tick, I got that.
Yeah.
I got like 2 hours extra on exams to make sure I'm good.
Yeah.
My teachers was like, yo, Cal, this is what you need to do,
All
right?
right.
After that, they even set me up to get, they set me up. They literally picked few of us within inside of the classroom, right?
Yeah.
To go on hire, right?
Yeah.
They picked us to go to work for like Goldman Sachs and so forth, right?
Yeah.
Starting like 35, 40 bags a year. That's what my starting salary was.
Okay.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I know from the system itself, from the actual educational system to the jobs themselves that's available, there was nothing that was holding me back. The only thing that was holding me back here, if I chose to be held back, was my own self, to think like, nah, I'm not good enough to get the grades. No, I'm not good enough to work for the top investment banking company. That's the only thing that could hold me back. Anything else, there ain't nothing holding me back.
There's two things of what you just said.
Go ahead.
Right? The first thing is that your individual experience. Because there are many people like you who have gone through the British education system and come out with major jobs. And there are some statistics to say that black women in this country are the minority with the highest level of graduates. I don't know how true that is, but that statistic is out there. At the same time, black men, including with university degrees, are the most underemployed group in this country. Okay, so your experience as an individual doesn't trump the collective experience of our people. And that's the first thing.
But why though?
That's the first
why
thing.
are they not actually employed?
That's the first thing. I'll let you respond to that. That's the first thing. The second thing is, you will get let through to work in the system and for the system as long as you're benefiting this particular system. And this is why I say we can't totally disassociate it from the global experience of our people, because this is a nation that has global influence. Yes, especially in nations of people that are majority us. Yes, give that key, right? And so oftentimes, how we come up in this system is often contributing to the detriment of our people in other places on the planet, and it also directly impinges on our ability to be self-reliant. because they give us some space. This always happens, yeah? We're working on a self-reliant thing.
Yeah.
And they say, well, you know what, come, we got some jobs for you. We'll make you MPs. And we divert from our own agenda and we start to build up their system more. Us being able to build up their system is not a benefit to our people.
Okay.
Right. So the point is that they will set up the system in such a way that we are able to benefit them, our energy, our work benefits the system more than it benefits us and our own community. So you find that the more of us succeed in the system, doesn't change the conditions of our community.
Okay, so again, like I don't see how, like for example, white supremacy is an operation that is dominating and suppressing and controlling us to be at the bottom of society. I don't see that taking place. What I do see, right, is our black inferiority inside of our own culture.
I don't think they're too mutually exclusive.
Go on. I think it's us as a people that are reinforcing the negative stereotypes and reinforcing like redundant ideas, right?
Yeah.
That is causing us to actually not actually rise up to the top. I don't think the system is actually worked or geared for us to be at the bottom, to be honest with you.
I'm not going to disagree with that. It is a vestige, yeah, or a consequence of oppression that some of the oppressed group, or much of the oppressed group, adopts inferiority complexes.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, one of them, is the idea that being included, this is an inferiority complex to me, you know. Inclusion in the system, is the only way for us to succeed and better ourselves. That's the inferiority complex, right? So we teach our people that you must vote to have your voice heard, yes, because it's better to be a part of the system. Yeah, and I'm saying that within all these contexts, yeah, you have organizations and institutions that operate in the system on different levels. And to me, one of the major things that we can do is to know the reality of the system that we're living in and the various organizations within it. Right? And I'm saying that the issue that and the concern that I had when watching the video is that we have these institutions here that I think are on a lower level as far as systemic institutional degradation of black people. Yeah, the EDO, the BNP, and whatever. I would concede that they're on a lower level. But I would not try to convince my people. And go to my people and challenge them and tell them that a manifestation of their inferiority complex is identifying that this organization and these individuals who are members of this organization are people that are not for them or their best interest.
Okay, so what I've noted from you throughout this conversation, you have like the us versus them mentality, and I think that this is quite prevalent inside of our own like culture itself. We always see like, okay, like them. I'm thinking like, who's them? Oh, the white people. And you know, versus black people. Like, you know, like we shouldn't integrate and, you know, be part of the system.
What is integration? Why should we integrate?
I'm thinking to myself like, hold on, like we're all. I'm pretty sure you have.
Why would I want to integrate into the system?
I'm pretty sure that we all have that, you know, British passport, right? That means that we're all like British citizens, right? And
I'm a citizen of the country.
And we're all equal in the eyes of the law, right?
Well, no, we're not.
Okay, let me finish. We're all equal in the eyes of the law, to everybody else inside of the society. We're all paying our taxes. I hope. I hope. No, I'm joking. We're all paying our taxes.
We're on camera, so I ain't answering that question. But yeah, you know what I mean.
No, we're paying back. At least we're buying the products. They got value tax on it. We're paying tax, baby. We're paying tax. So like it seems though like us as black people, we don't want to be like we're British citizens, but we begrudge being British citizens, and that's the problem. We don't have. You know, we need to kind of learn bicultural competency. What's up? We need to hold on. Let me finish.
Go
we need to learn like bicultural competency. Like, we do have a place of origin, which is our culture. And we're in the host country, which is also part of our culture. We should stop fighting it as to say that we can only be one and we can't be the other. We can be both in this society. Right. And let me just finish with you because you said about like I shouldn't be telling people that Tommy Robinson or these types of people are. Was it good for our people? What did you say?
No, I'm saying I don't understand why the debate is to impress upon our people that these people, who are saying that these people are not for our benefit, that we shouldn't be saying these things. We should identify them as such.
So now, me, the reason why I came up with that topic itself, right, is because I was seeing a lot of black people and a lot of Muslims being triggered by me actually being there, number one. And then number two, me actually greeting Tommy Robinson. A lot of people were being triggered, and the words that they were using were racial slurs. They were using, like blacks and Muslims were saying coons, NIGGRs, Toms, all these racial slurs, because they see me with another human being, right? And I'm saying, like, what makes you so triggered? What inside of you gets you so triggered that you think it's okay to racially abuse another human being, and you find it's okay inside of yourself.
Yeah.
And the rest of the comment section also feels it's okay for
Yeah.
these people to do this.
Yeah.
It baffles me.
Right.
Absolutely baffles
No,
me.
I hear that.
So
I
I was simply saying, like, why are you so triggered? Like, tell me, like, what about Tommy Robinson that
Yeah,
gets
no.
you guys so triggered?
And there's an extent to which I don't disagree with you. Yeah, the say on your channel when I was chatting to Captain Scarlett, I said, listen, we shouldn't be so emotionally riled up by these people. We just need to know who they are and keep it moving. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, where I depart is the idea that now we must tell our people, listen. Yeah, I have not seen racism in this guy, and if you can't see the love in this man's heart, then something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Statements of
right,
truth.
right. What you said is statements of truth.
Statement
Yeah.
of truth.
I'm saying
But that was in
I don't.
context of something, though.
No, I'm not.
Can I bring the context so
Go
I
on,
can
go
get
on,
it right? Okay, so again, I haven't seen no racism in Tommy Robinson. That's facts.
Yeah.
Right. The second thing was I was talking about him being a leader.
Yes.
Right. I was saying, as a leader, like that was like the most marvelous thing I've ever seen portrayed from a leader. And why do I say that? Why do I say that?
That's a strong statement, YG.
All right, listen to why I say. Listen to why I say.
Go on.
I said, yeah, it was the most marvelous thing I've seen or demonstrated from a leader. And I'm going to tell you what it was that was demonstrated by him. So, from coming out from a court case, right, where you can potentially go back into prison for up to like 2 years, right? You've just left your wife, your children, you've kissed them, you've hugged them, goodbye, right? Me, the first thing that I would want to be doing, right, is running home to my wife and to my children and to unwind and to relax and just get a massage and just detox, watch some TV and just chill. Like, that was a mad day for me, right? No, what did the man do? He said, I'm not leaving, yeah? He said to the police, I want all of you lot gone. I want all of you lot gone, because we were all like crowding outside a particular bar. He said, I want all of you lot gone, and I want my people to come and greet me. I want to shake hands with everybody here. I want to...
You think that's just a Superman complex? He wants to show the power that he's got.
That even if it's a Superman complex, right? I thought that
Kalam.
was... I'm saying myself. I don't. We can all do the conspiracy theory and stuff, right? But I'm saying, as a man witnessing that, I saw that as powerful right
You
there.
think that was dangerous though?
Dangerous.
You know what?
Do you think it was dangerous in the climate that we live in?
Yeah.
Knowing that Brexit's going to be
Yeah.
very close.
Yeah.
The climate that he's portraying
Yeah.
out there,
Yeah.
do you think that's very dangerous?
It
Let
could,
me
it could
ask you a
possibly,
question.
it could be very dangerous. There could be anybody in the crowd that's willing to do him something,
Bef-
right?
what-
But I'm saying, look at that. There's no fear in man's heart. Man's saying, I don't want any of these people here. All these people come to see me. They've flown from Scotland, from all different parts of the world,
Yeah.
from the UK, yeah, to come and see me. I want to make sure. Man went around for about at least 2 hours.
I take serious-
shaking hands. Hold on, shaking hands with both men, women,
Yeah.
children, yeah. And I thought I thought to myself,
And that's
like,
the
wow,
most. That's the most powerful thing that you've seen from a leader.
demonstrated, yeah, from a leader, especially here in the UK, right?
That's a powerful statement.
Very, very, very
I will
powerful.
come back to that. Let me
Very
ask you a
powerful.
question.
Go ahead.
Do you know what the Tommy Robinson position or any of the organisations that he represents or is affiliated with,
Yeah.
what their position was on the recent Windrush scandal?
No.
The government and them kind of things.
No.
there. Were they? So you
I don't know.
You don't know what their position was.
No,
So
I
you don't know if they were against or supporting our community over here
don't know.
or anything like that. Okay, right.
I
'Cause
only know
not-
about them when it comes to Islam, when it
right.
comes to terrorism, when it comes to extremism.
Okay.
That's all I can see from that community
Okay,
itself.
so you're saying that because they're
And
against,
sorry, grueling gangs. That's another
right.
thing. I
So
see.
because of those
Yeah,
positions, you're in agreement with them on those positions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, and I'm saying that there's an extent to which I'm with you in terms of challenging the racism that exists in Islam.
Yeah.
Yes. I have no debate with you on that issue. Yeah. And the fact that we need to address it. I am not going to align myself in any way, shape, or form with Tommy Robinson or an EDO or any organisation like that because they're against Islamic terrorism, and I'm going to go out and say me and them have some kind of comparability on this issue. That's the issue that I have.
Okay.
Yeah?
Are you against Islamic extremism?
I would say yes.
Are you
By Islamic extremism. Yeah.
Islamic extremism.
I would say yes,
Okay.
on the basis of some of what is pushed through the media. Yeah. So if we're talking about suicide bombings and bombing up wherever them kind of things there, I'm not in agreement with
That's
that.
terrorism,
There is an issue of the gang thing, especially in the black community, places like Brixton and them kind of things there. That I have an issue with that.
Yeah.
The issue is not whether I'm against that. The issue is whether I am in support of the narrative yeah, that is pushed by organizations, yeah, who are about, they're not talking about me, they're talking about white people and white culture. That's what they're defending, and they see Islam in this country, yeah, as a threat to white people and white culture. If another point in
I would
history,
say they're about against British people and British culture. That's what I would say.
I'm saying that white and British are analogous.
Based upon his words, I would say British public and British culture.
Yeah, and I'm saying that, yeah, I'm saying this. I'm saying that white and British are analogous.
That's got nothing to do with Tommy
I'm saying that white and British are no, but it does have to do with,
like the government and Tommy Robinson.
But we can
is not the same
can make it about Tommy Robinson, the individual. But Tommy Robinson
is the skin color. You think it's the same thing?
But Tommy Robinson comes in is not an individual in and of himself.
Okay.
He comes in a tradition of far right-wing politics in this country, right? This is what I'm saying, right? Yeah, there's a tradition of it. It's right they manifest all the same thing, and there is also
I don't know.
There's something else.
I'm going to say based upon his words, he doesn't consider himself to be far right.
Fine.
So I'm
He
going to say
might
based
not,
on his words.
but I'm saying
hold on. And I personally, yeah, I'm still like I'm not in full competency of what far right is. Could you explain to me what far right is?
Yeah. No, I'm saying that you can define far right politics, in the vein of organisations like the BNP and the NF.
No.
And
Don't name the organisations. Can you explain or describe
I'm going to.
far right
But I'm saying that ideologies manifest themselves in organisations. One of the best ways to identify ideology are by the institutions and organisations of socialisation, that is enacted or developed to put forward the ideology into existence. Yes? All right. So you have these groups, that are overly concerned, with what they call the preservation of British culture, which I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with white people preserving British culture. I have no problem with that. But in terms of how that manifests itself, oftentimes, and our community has a history of this. Like, one of the things that you said is that people say that it's the Muslims now, it's going to be the blacks later. In the reality, it was us first. Who these communities, these organisations and their ideologies were aggressing and attacking, in different ways, and trying to institute policies in the country, to affect us negatively. Okay, now I'm still saying that they ain't got nothing on the Labour Party and the Conservatives. I'm still saying that. That's my personal opinion. However, that don't mean that because the Labour and Conservatives are worse, that these people are now my friends. And I'm saying that for me, as a people, as a community, because the EDO and their perspective on the Islamic community is inspired by their defence, the English Defence League of what is English. English culture, English identity. That's what they're defending. And I'm saying that we should, if we're going to talk about Islamic radicalism, we have a perspective that speaks to our heritage and our culture. And we're not necessarily in line with them because they're talking about these guys. Our narratives and our approaches might be completely different. They're not talking about I and I. We're not, and I would see it as a part of an inferiority complex. If we see it as our duty, or aspiration to define ourselves into English and British identity and culture.
No, I don't think we should. I don't think we should try to identify ourselves as English. I don't think that we are English. We are British. We are British citizens, and that is part of who you are. You've been most probably born in Britain.
A citizenship.
You've most probably been born in Britain, right? You've been bred in Britain. You've been brought up in the culture of Britain, so you are British. You are a British.
No, I'm an African.
You are a British Afro-Caribbean
I'm an African
man.
who's a British citizen.
No, you are a British Afro-Caribbean man.
That's
the problem that we don't even understand.
A while ago, you said that Tommy Robinson doesn't define himself as far right, so you're not going to define him as far right. I don't define myself as British.
Okay.
I am a British citizen. I have a British passport.
I also said, right? He doesn't define himself as British, and I don't. As
far right.
Far right, and I don't even know what far right is to even call him far right.
Yeah, and
I'm saying. I'm saying I do know what British is, and I'm saying that yes, you are British.
I'm a British citizen.
Okay, so you're British citizen, number one,
there's a difference.
and you're African Caribbean, right?
There's a difference.
So
I wouldn't even say I'm African Caribbean. I would use the term. That's what I'm going to come to. Because we're talking about a legal citizenry identification is one thing. A culture one is another. And I cannot define myself as British, culturally speaking, because I understand what that means. I understand what English means as far as my people are concerned. This is not a designation a split that I created myself because I got a problem like you said, you used to use the word a begrudging relationship or something like that
Yeah.
with this nation.
Yeah, okay.
This is putting the cart before the horse. This is an oppressive nation. This is an oppressive nation that colonized and enslaved my ancestors and continues to do so through institutions like the Commonwealth, contributing to institutions like the IMF, the World Bank, the United Nations, and all these kinds of things.
Okay.
So this is not a thing like that. I've got a problem with Britain. No, this is an oppressive nation, and I identify as oppressive.
no problem.
And because of it, because of that, yeah, I'm at war with it. Because they're at war with they started the war, so I'm now a warrior. That's all what it is.
So you don't realize. So you're still saying that even though you've been brought up in Britain,
Yeah.
you've been bred in Britain, you still don't actually have, like, British culture is not part of you.
I would say
know
that.
what he's saying.
I would say. He knows what I'm saying.
No,
he doesn't know what I'm saying. But it's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
It's true.
I've known this man for a long time.
Yeah.
It's love. It's love. It's
know
love.
what he's saying,
All right.
man.
But
Yeah.
right, as black people in this country,
Yeah.
we have developed a culture over here. Yes, I am very much a part of that culture.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. There are aspects of what has become black culture over here that I don't adhere to. There are aspects that I do adhere to. In terms of ideologically speaking, I believe that our strength, comes from unifying and finding the links between our African diaspora.
Yeah.
So I'm more concerned with linking with my brothers and sisters as an African from the Caribbean, from the continent, than I am with adopting or identifying or assimilating and integrating into whatever is called British culture. I have no interest in that because I understand this nation to be an oppressive nation, and I have no interest in becoming a part of their oppression, so that I can get a leg up.
Okay.
On my brothers and sisters in Nigeria and Ghana and Jamaica and St. Lucia. I'm not interested in that.
So
That's the key.
So the house that you're living in, you have no care, respect for that house.
What's that?
Right?
I am like in that respect, the house slave on the plantation who poisoned the master.
Okay.
Man's the field Negro.
From within,
If
from the
people
inside.
field Negro.
From the
You know what I'm
inside,
saying?
yeah.
We need to stop that Negro talk, right? I'm just
I'm
simply
just saying
saying
what it is.
I'm simply
It's
saying, yeah.
anything with the field Negroes, innit?
No,
Because that's what we are in this system.
Terminology.
In the system, yeah.
Figuratively.
In the system,
I have no interest in it.
And that's the ideology I'm trying to fight.
No, but the reality is we have
Black man!
I don't.
Black man!
I don't.
You're no longer a slave, black man.
No, hey,
You're
how
no
am I
longer a
saying?
slave.
I
You don't need to be in the field, and you don't need to be in the
I didn't
house.
say I'm a slave,
You're
you know.
a free
I didn't
man.
say I'm a slave, you know. I didn't say I'm a slave.
Yeah.
What I said is using an analogy.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah, I am like
Yeah.
the house slave on the plantation who poisons the master.
All
That
right.
slave, that enslaved African,
Yeah.
in poisoning the master,
Yeah.
was enacting his freedom. That's an act of freedom right there. When
So
you poison the master.
I want to know, because I know a lot of black people think this way. What is actually keeping us in this country with this type of ideology?
What is keeping us in this country?
Yeah, if we don't
Well, I mean,
want to fit into
I
society.
don't need to educate you about the history of why we're here, Kalam.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
No, what's keeping us here? I know what somebody brought us here.
What's keeping? Well, I would say.
Why are we staying here?
Yeah,
Why are we staying here?
but the reality is, where are we going to go on the planet, to escape this particular system and this country and its influence?
I don't know. I'm saying that. So I want to know.
I'm saying that there is nowhere.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm
Okay.
saying,
Yeah.
that in recognizing this nation as an oppressive colonial nation, yes, and institutions and organizations like the EDO and all of them, are contributory factors to that. Yeah, the only thing to do is to fight that. Yeah, from wherever we are. So I don't have to be here to fight it. But if I go Ghana, I have to fight it the same way. If I go Jamaica, I have to fight it the same way. You know why? Because the economies, because there's a thing called the Commonwealth. The economies of all of our nations are still controlled from here. This is why Elizabeth of Windsor is still the head of state in Jamaica, and Nigeria, and Ghana.
How are you in Britain fighting Britain? I want to know how you doing that.
Economically as
Well,
well.
No, understand this.
why does it matter that I'm in Britain fighting Britain?
Okay, like how are you
You're
fighting?
you're
how are
saying
you
that
fighting Britain?
you're saying that I should. So where should I go to fight Britain?
Okay, how are you fighting Britain?
How?
Yeah, how are you doing it?
Well, I've made representation to the fact that my ideology is about finding the links between us and the African diaspora. So it's about us, having a self-determined idea of where we want to go.
Okay.
And I'm about connecting with my brothers and sisters to define that for ourselves.
Okay.
The reason why we're still here is because, many of the movements that we developed for the purpose of achieving certain things. Again, we're in a war. So we've had successes, we've had failures, or we've lost some battles along the way.
Yeah.
So some of those movements, you know what I mean? You know where I'm coming from. I was born and raised in the Pan-African community. In the 1980s, there was a direct attack against the Pan-African community over here, from institutions of society. We know the history of our movements all over the world and how institutions like the FBI, the CIA, MI5, and them kind of things, they have attacked our movements. So they're not just saying, you know what, safe.
So where do you go from?
Yeah.
You go from
They're not just saying. Them now just say, you know what.
people to now we're all one. Is that the standard now?
Go ahead.
I know because you come from Kalam, it's like some natural thing, you get me?
We're all one.
Okay, so I think that whilst being Britain, we are all one underneath the British flag.
But are you denying that Britain's a colonial nation?
Can I finish now? So we are all one as being British citizens, right? But we ourselves, as Afro-Caribbeans and Africans, right, we need to sort out our own communities, right? So we can actually be well placed and productive in British society, because this is our home. Like it or love it, you are planning to be in this country.
But I'm not.
You're planning to have children in this country. You're probably planning to have houses and generations live in this country.
Why is
and
the
I think it's
goal?
very detrimental for us to have an us versus them mentality whilst
always
living.
been us
No,
versus
no,
them.
I know,
You
but
know why?
I'm saying, but
Because
it's a
we
detrimental
We
ideology.
never brought that mentality.
White
though.
people.
We never brought that to them. They brought that to us.
Exactly.
So now black
What's
people
that, sorry?
are waking up. Now you're telling us that we should.
I haven't said white
go
people.
that way.
I'm saying, but I believe that there is a system of global white supremacy, certainly.
There's a system in place.
Yeah.
And there are certain people in power that make sure that certain things are carried out against
No,
us.
but this is the point.
It sounds like
Yeah.
you're anti the collective of white people.
No,
From
I'm
what he said. Right.
right.
No,
Help
I'm not
say.
saying what you're saying.
No, help
I'm
say.
saying for what he said, meaning
Listen.
the collective of British
but
white
If
people.
I meet an individual white man or whatever, me and him ain't got no problem.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
I treat
saying.
a man with respect. Yeah,
Right.
he ain't coming to my yard.
Individuals.
I'm not marrying his woman.
That's the individual.
Right, them kind of thing. There. I'm not interested in that. But when I talk about collective organisation, I'm about African people.
Right.
I do not believe the goal of black unity and us coming together is to be a productive force in British society.
We're the only ones
I believe that's a minor goal,
everyone.
and that as a goal is a diminishment of who we are, especially because this nation is a colonizer nation, and I have no interest in being a part of Britain's colonizer project. I'm not an Obama guy. Yeah, well, I become because that's becoming a productive.
What do you mean by productive though?
Right?
lot
Kalam said
A lot of nations have colonized other communities
Of
of
course,
people.
that's why I said black men
So,
ain't got no
What's the point?
So
I don't understand.
I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement with you, right?
Yeah.
I think that
Before we sort that
us
out,
being
so-
productive members inside of British society is merely a short-term goal, right? As black or
That's not
Afri-
what I said though. Go
No,
on,
I'm
go
saying
on.
for me
Yeah,
it is.
go on, go
It
on.
should be a short-term goal. I don't know what is. Okay, let me ask you a question. What is the long-term goal then?
I'm
As a
saying-
collective,
As a collective of people,
yeah, as of black people.
as Marcus Garvey put it, free and redeemed Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, and African people.
Okay. So me personally, yeah, I personally think that's a short-term goal. I actually wanted to speak about this when we're doing the our corner.
Yep.
And then when he's there, we can start talking deeper about things that are affecting black people or Afro-Caribbean people. I think that it is the short-term goal to be productive in this country. But I also think that we need to go back, not to Africa, like forget Africa for now, you need to go back to the Caribbean, right? To your actual home country, to where you're from.
Yeah, man goes there.
If you want some
to the
sweets,
other-
I got some sweets. You want some sweets?
cool.
Okay, so we need to
I
go
don't have a
back.
problem with that.
We need.
before they'll kill us.
I don't-
It's all right, man. It's all right, man.
To the rest of the diaspora.
So I'm
you-
because I'm speaking to Caribbeans right now. If I'm speaking to an African person, I'll tell you.
You're speaking to an African from the Caribbean.
Let me finish.
Does that include
If
America
I'm
as well?
speaking to somebody from Ghana, I'll tell you you need to go back to Ghana first and sort out that problem, right? So, and also you talked about
Black Americans. What about them?
That's what I said.
Black Americans.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Black Americans,
That's their place. Where
they
was
don't
it?
they don't have no
They have a harder job because they don't have their own nation.
yeah, they don't have something of themselves.
It's a
So,
different
But the- but the-
yeah,
but the-
something completely different.
But the problem that he's
So-
sorry, finish.
Yeah, so as I was going to finish, I was saying that we need to go back.
Jamaica.
If we're from the Caribbean, we need to go back to the Caribbean and sort out the Caribbean
no.
problem.
Oh, sorry.
Because Caribbean, like the Caribbean countries, are in a bit of like
Sorry, yeah, you're right.
problems. Yeah, I'm saying that's something.
Why?
Because there is there is something called a brain drain. All of the best and brightest of black people from
Why-
the
why is
Caribbean
there a brain drain?
leaving
When you-
to go over to UK,
Yeah.
to go to America, to
Why?
go to Canada, Cuba sometimes
Why?
as well.
Why?
Right? And they're choosing to remain and stay there.
Why?
Now,
Why? No, because you're saying you're
Brain boxes are leaving Jamaica.
all of
brain
the-
drain.
brain drain.
But the brain drain takes place in a context. The brain drain is not a natural phenomenon. The brain drain is because there are opportunities, perceived opportunities, in here that are perceived not to be available there.
That's right. So
But that dynamic takes place because of the control that places like this still have in our whole nation. So I'm saying that not even just in our minds, over our economies. Listen, I got an uncle here. I got an uncle here.
let me finish though. Can I finish though?
Go on.
Can I finish though? So yeah, we need to go back because we left. Okay, I say we. I'm not even gonna say we really because we don't all leave at the same time.
We didn't just leave though, Kalam.
Okay,
We didn't just leave. We were invited
so
under a colonial system.
and we chose of our own volition to leave where we were from to come over here.
When,
Right?
when you're colonized, choice is relative, you know.
Can I finish?
When you're colonized, choice is relative.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
Go on,
Can I
sorry, go on.
finish, right? And unfortunately, like I say our, even though my parents wasn't really included in this, right? But our grandparents and so forth, yeah, decided to come over here to get money, right, and to build and raise themselves up in the society, to ship off that money and go back home, build their houses, and do what they're supposed to do. But unfortunately, you know what's it called? Right? They bit the apple. They bit the apple and they chose to remain here, right? And we didn't. They did choose to
There
remain
was
here.
nothing more
But
offering.
let me finish. Exactly, and that's the problem. Hold on, let me finish, my brothers. Let me finish, right? So really, truly, we should be finishing the plans that our ancestors originally had, right? Is to create our foundation over here, our money, our wealth over here, ship off that money and wealth over to the Caribbean, build up the Caribbean. That's what we need to do. We need to build up the Caribbean.
I don't have a problem with the Caribbean.
And then after you.
I don't have a problem with being at the Caribbean.
And then after you build up the Caribbean, right? And as you was talking about earlier on, let me finish though. Let me finish, right? Because you thought you said something that was very smart, right? In terms of
Good times.
in terms of how can I put it? Marrying or producing children, right?
Yeah.
And I do think that is definitely a solution for us as Afro-Caribbeans, Africans, right? To actually you know, how can I put it? Like, think and breathe strategically. So if
Say
you're breathe strategically. So if you're Afro-Caribbean, I do think you should be breeding with an African.
Shout out to my queen and my son, you know what I mean?
Yeah, go on. I do think you should strategically breed with Africans, right?
Yes.
Because if you were able to build up Caribbean countries, and then you're also able to build up African countries,
Yes.
and then you could also, you know, you have a nice link.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you can do over here in the UK, you could do that in the Caribbean. You could do that over there.
Yeah.
You could have this nice triangle of trade and build up yourself.
Right.
For you to flourish.
But all right, now I'm not going to disagree with the idea of building up back home in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
But you will know, that many of our movements, and especially that they talk of it now as well, in terms of the African diaspora being seen politically and economically as part of, Africa, So as in the creation of a global African nationhood, sense of nationhood.
Yeah.
Many of our movements did that, So this is not a new idea. Africans that were from the Caribbean fought for that purpose. The idea was that this is our home. And so our power base is Dessa. Wherever else we are on the planet, we can be anywhere on the planet, but the power base is Dessa, it's home. So and there are many, you will know, there are many communities in this country that operate on that principle. They're here, they operate, they do whatever, but they know where their power base is, and they form power bases over here that are reflective of wherever they're looking towards as their power base, as their nation.
That's not your home though. Like,
What's not your home? What's not your home?
Africa, technically speaking, is not your home.
Yes, it is.
And the reason,
When did it stop being my home?
all right.
When did it stop being my home? At what point in the journey of the last 500 years did it stop being my home?
I'll tell you, right? So if you go now to Africa, right? Let's just choose, I don't know, Nigeria somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Let's just choose.
Say Ghana, I've been to Ghana.
Okay, let's just choose Ghana, right?
Yeah.
Right. What roots do you have there in Ghana?
I'm an Ashanti descendant.
I hear that, but what roots do you have there? Do you have any property there? Do you have?
Yeah.
Do you have? That's what I'm saying.
But
You have no
Kalam,
property, you have no land there.
Kalam,
There is nothing.
many of us.
Let me finish. Let me land, let me land now.
Yeah.
So there's nothing there yet that we can claim to say, this is our home.
You know-
right? I know what we can say, like in terms of historically that is our home. But what we can do from Jamaica,
Yeah.
we can actually go to Jamaica where we do have family there, we do have property there, and we most probably have land deeds there.
Not all of
where
us have
we
property.
can- I'm saying we most probably do. So we can build there. So
We
that
can.
there, that there, as being an Afro-Caribbean,
but there's-
hold on, as being an Afro-Caribbean person, yeah, that is your home. And I'm saying if you marry strategically yet again, right, and you marry, let's say, into a Ghanaian woman,
Yes.
right, guess what?
Correct.
She's going to inherit the
Correct.
land. She's going to
Correct.
inherit the property.
Right.
And guess what?
Yeah.
You can build from the
Right.
property that you have over there in
Not gonna disagree with that.
Jamaica, over here in the UK,
Jamaica's already
and
done
then
it now.
No, but
And
yeah,
then
that's what I'm
you
saying.
build-
But
and
we're
then
not
you
gonna.
building
But we're not
Ghana.
gonna. But we're not gonna. One second.
Caribbean politics
But
won't
no,
work.
here I'm saying. There is not a dichotomy, yeah, between building up. From a Pan-African perspective, there is no dichotomy between building up the Caribbean and building up Africa. Yeah, one feeds the other, and if we're doing it properly, but because if you look at, I'm a Garveyite, and when Marcus Garvey put on established the Black Star Line, people talk about he wanted to take back people out to Africa. No, what he was trying to do was facilitate trade. Yeah, and social intercourse between Africans around the Americas and the continent.
That's right.
Yeah, so there's no dichotomy
right.
to be spoken of between building up Jamaica and building up the continent.
you can see, you
Yeah?
can secretly see I'm a Garveyite, right?
Right?
Which one's
except, no, but except, yeah, one of the things that we have to do is throw off, yeah, the fact that our reliance and attachment to places like here. If we're talking about Africa or the Caribbean right about now, this Commonwealth idea means that Elizabeth of Windsor is still the head of state. Means that there's a Governor General on the land right about now who is the highest authority in the land. Yeah, which means that also that the economic world institutions like the World Trade Organization, World Health Organization, the UN, and all these things that are run by European nations, yeah, have decision-making power. Yeah, in our nations that work to the detriment of our nations. So I'm not over here in Britain talking about man needs to integrate, yeah, and them kind of things. Then no, ban that, ban integration. I want to dead this whole system and liberate my people. Them.
This is the problem. You've got to integrate with the people.
That's a good question.
And what I'm saying, you're saying you don't want to integrate with the people here.
I'm saying this system and the people of this culture, I have no interest in integrating in.
An example
No
of-
assimilation,
Give me
fire
an
burn.
example of the culture, the system.
For example,
What do you do that you don't integrate into British society?
no, listen.
'Cause you're working.
I live. No, I'm self-employed, right?
No, I'm saying, so
Right.
you're earning money somehow.
Yeah.
right?
No, we as a part of. Listen, when you're in a state,
system, B.
but that's not in that's not in dispute. That's not in dispute. The fact that we live here, the fact that we are a part of the system, yes, I bless. Yeah, and the fact that we contribute in some way, shape, or form is not in question. Yeah, that's
What bits do you want to say you don't want to be part of?
none of it. And so
you're saying you have to be working towards not
at
being
this
part of
stage that we are at the moment, in our collective experience, because it's not an individual thing, it's a collective experience. So at this stage, we are at this point. So we do what we need to do at this point to get to a certain level. This is not in question. Nobody, like no enslaved African, for example, on a plantation, they said, you know what, fire burn this. You know what I'm saying? No, you work with, you know what I'm saying? It's a process. It's not an event, it's a process. But I'm saying the goal and the objective. So a man, if a man going to come and tell me that I must, yeah, and especially if assimilation and them kind of integration means that I must give credence and credibility to organisations like the EDO and individuals like Tommy Robinson, I'm not in it.
You don't have to. That's your choice.
No,
That's a
but
choice.
is-
that
Yeah, no,
is
everybody has.
Kalam
but-
saying
yeah,
to
no.
empower? Is Kalam essentially saying,
Yeah.
let's empower the ideals of the British government? Because when you talk system, you're talking about the government.
The
And
government
I'm saying
is an oppressive
their view
institution.
of the future
Yeah.
is never to liberate us,
Of course.
never to empower us.
Of course.
So I just want to sum up what he's
But
saying.
what I'm saying
in a
is that
state.
we shouldn't-
Is that what he's saying, Kalam? Are you saying, in other words, if we followed your model, would it be our pity them start saying we're British? I don't mind that. But to the degree that we will join the army and we will start to invade places where our own people are there, we're saying, I'm more British than this.
Okay.
You
That's
get
a good
me?
question,
And we
you know,
know
that's a
we're
good
doing
question.
injustice.
Yeah.
If we join the police force, for instance,
Yeah.
instead of us joining it with a black mind, because I ain't against joining the police,
Yeah.
but you're joining it with a
I
black
am,
mind.
but hey,
No,
I'm
I'm saying,
against it, but again,
I'm saying
we've got
you
black
join it with a
mind,
black
you get me?
mind,
Yeah.
so therefore you patrol the racist areas. Where you know there's bare racist people as a black man, say, yo, what you say, fam? You use the N-word, you pull out your spray and your stick.
Yeah.
Or you go to the areas where black people are, and you say to the youth, them come, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? You try and encourage them. I'm just making a point of what is the end result of what you're saying, considering we are at the bottom of every system on the planet.
Come take over everything from your government. Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV.
And the movement of what this ideology is right now is the total extinction and annihilation of the black race. They don't have to say it that way, but the pattern of their behaviour and how you can force it in the future is that's what they want to see. You understand? Everything.
Make him answer. It's a good question. I like it.
The equals button is they desire our extinction. So I'm about self-defense and making sure that don't happen.
It's a very pertinent question.